Hello, GOG newbies. So if you're watching this video, this is the most basic video. Um, this is just to orient you to the basics of your castle because there is a lot going on here. So let's just go with, on this video, we'll do a basic overview of the castle and go through that. Don't forget to hit subscribe because I'm putting out probably 100 videos on GOG. This is just the first of many. So make sure you hit subscribe. But here we've got my castle. You could see how if it's your castle from the outside, it just says my estate. The blinking thing on my specific castle here is just a wonder, and I'll make a video all about those. So if we want to go inside, we'll click here. You can either click your castle and hit enter estate, or you can click my estate in the bottom corner on the right. So we go inside, and right now it's a little more festive. We have an event going on, the Chinese New Year event. So we got little pandas wandering around. When you first enter your castle, okay, almost all these buildings will be gone. This will be all broken down over here in this area. And you'll have to repair a lot of that. So there'll be piles laying around that you click on those, and it gives you some resources to fix the thing. So you're going to follow your prompts initially. You're going to go prompt by prompt by prompt. Then you're going to help Dr. Vanderbeek and all that kind of stuff. And then you're going to get to where you can actually do things in your castle. So in my castle, the way I've chosen to set this up initially, and there's no exact way, but I prefer to try and save as many blocks as I can for my my military tents, because those military tents help you with how many troops you can train. I like to have as many hospitals as possible and max those out. So I've maxed out my hospitals, I've maxed out my military tents on what I'm allowed to have. And then I mostly went with silver, you can see, and iron. I maxed out my silver, iron, and then I just have one farm, two, I think, because I need that for something. No, one farm and one lumber mill. And that's because you can gather those resources pretty quickly. In the scheme of things, you're always going to need silver and iron the most. My hospitals are lit up red because I have some troops that need to be healed. If the troops are healed, they're not lit up red like that. So anytime you see your hospitals light up red with these little medical symbols, you have troops that need to be healed. This gift chest is just a random tribute gift that you get every so often. It gives you a little timer. When you claim it, you see the next one will come in 7 minutes and 56 seconds, so I can claim another gift there. You have your wall, okay? And we'll have a whole video just about the wall and all its specifics. You've got your golden horse statue here. We'll talk about that more in a video that's just about the golden horse. You've got your bank, okay, and we'll talk about that. You've got this, which is where creation lives, and I'll do a whole video on that building and just the creation. You got this building, which is your drill grounds, and we'll have, again, the whole video. You've got over here a sanctuary. We'll talk about that. Your event center is here. You click it to get to your events is one of the ways you can do it, or you can click event center in the top right corner. You've got your munitions exchange building. I tuck it away in the back because it's something that you don't use much. You could also tuck your little trade station back here in this corner to be out of your way. You kind of want to put these buildings back and out of your way because you're not going to access them as much as your primary other buildings. And you want these guys up front, so you always see with your research, with your academy. You see it somewhere up front. Your Hall of War and your embassy, I just kind of poke those over to the side. My storage, my artillery's way over there, because I like to group my buildings here for my armory, and then my troop buildings for distance, the shooting range, barracks for infantry, and then the cavalry. I like to put all those right all together so I can, if I'm doing troop training and things, it's real easy. Here you've got your tavern. I put mine there for all my recruiting. You've got your estate affairs over here. My airship dock I've placed back here. I think it just defaults there. You don't really have any choice on placement. This building, the Imperial University, defaults. I'll do a whole video on that. And here's where your curiosities are back here. in your cabinet of curiosities, which we'll talk about that because, again, these are long subjects. I don't want the videos to be ridiculously long. I'm just introducing you to the inside of your castle in this video. Over here, we've got our Musketeers fort, which I think unlocks at castle level 15. Let's see. It unlocks... it doesn't say on here which one it unlocks, I don't think, but it does unlock at a point here. All right. Oh, somehow I've made my video slider come out. Go away. There we go. So we've got our Musketeers fort, a whole video about that. You've got your inn back here, and we'll do a video about this because it has a lot of things going on here. Back here's the market boat. You got your mermaid out here. That's a newer feature. You have your pirate showdown, and we'll do a whole video where we talk about why these guards are where they are and what they do and all that fun stuff. Out here you got your royal expeditions, and we'll go into details about those. You have your spirit mines, which is a great source of resources. You've got your harbor, which you only use really for Uncharted Seas event, and when Uncharted Seas comes back around, I'll do a whole video on that. It'll only come one time. So overall, there's a basic overview of just the inside of the castle, and what, some basics about what each building is. And we're going to get into every individual building and individual videos on what they do specifically. All these buttons inside, we'll talk about each one of these buttons in its own video, but just for orientation, this girl over here in the left bottom corner, she's your helper. She gives you suggestions. You can claim prizes. You got your daily quest over here. You have both main quest and dailies that repeat. Up here, if you click your picture in the top left, this comes up and you can look at your achievements, talent points, which I'll have a whole video on that, skins. You can look at the kingdom overall leaderboards. Just by clicking that girl in the corner, you can look at your settings. So maybe in this one is an orientation to the castle. I'm going to go over the settings thing real quick because this is important. If you click your game settings, you want to be sure that your equipment display is turned to off, okay? You do not want people to be able to see what equipment you are wearing when you are fighting, okay? I'm going to turn my auto time zone conversion to on because that will be nice. And on your resources collect all, you want that basic setting to be on, because then with one click, you can do that. Your Alliance Quick Help, you want that setting to be on to make it easier, where a little circle pops up when your Alliance members need help. You could just click that to give them help. So in your basic game settings, again, sound effects, that's all up to you. Your graphics, if you want the environment details on or off, I prefer it on. But I do prefer HD map quality in my kingdom, and I use 2D visual effects. The 3D seem to lag it out some. Equipment display off, map tap on, and this just makes it, if you could choose the march, but actually map tap I'm going to take to off, because that makes it so hard when you are mass rallying something together with your team and everybody is attacking this thing. If you're trying to click it to attack it and other people are marching, you end up accidentally clicking on their marches and your cursor starts running off following their marches, and it's a mess. So map tap is, it's easier for me. I like it off. And so just resources collect all to on, and Alliance Quick Help. And see these hands now that are right here above my Alliance tab? Those correlate to these hands that are right here on my embassy. That's the only place over your embassy that'll come up if you don't have the Alliance help turned on. If you do, then this thing will pop up right here, and so no matter where you are on your screen, you'll always see if someone needs help. This horn just means that someone has an active rally. If I was going to join that rally, oh, their rally ran off already. But if I was going to join it, I'd hit that horn. You can also just click your alliance tab and go to the war tab. And then if any rallies are going, they'll be here. You got your basic inventory tab. We'll go into all the specifics on that. Here's where you look at your guards. We're going to have a whole video that's just all about guards and all these different things. We'll have a whole different one about the weapons themselves. That's a whole different creature than just the guards. You got your general mail tab, and this is where you see, like, you can contact the mod, you can go to messages and talk to people, you can go to the war tab, you can see what's going on, if any, you know, if you've done Wolf Lord marches, say, or here was Darklands when we were just having a lot of rallies in there, fighting in Darklands, those will come up there. Alliance tab is where all your alliance rewards. So we'll go through more of this, but you can just see these are general things from the system. These are just your general reports if you hunt something. And then favorites. These are old scout reports. You could save things to favorites. Like say you get a report and you're like, ooh, that's juicy because you're scouting a whole bunch of people, whole bunch of people, whole bunch of people. You can click this star over here to the right side and it'll save it to your favorites. So that way if you're mass sending scout, and you're looking through your scout reports and you're like, this one has a bunch of resources, you can click it to put it on your favorites, and then of course it can go here, and if you want to take it off your favorites, then you just have to unclick the star, as you see, and they go off your favorites. Okay, so that's a good way to hold on to those juicy scout reports when you shoot off a bunch of scouts and now you want to go kill everybody, take all their resources. Especially early on in the kingdom, that's really helpful to save that to your favorites. Again, we've got our gift. Okay, at the top of your screen here, the very tip top, you can click this to quick access resources and use resources. And then you can click here on your gold and that'll bring up everything you can buy, all the bundles and things. Up here is just your general power and your VIP. If you click that to claim your VIP points each day, and we'll do a whole video that's just on VIP and what that is. Talents right here are referring to, they're different than talents over here. Okay, so when you click up here and go to talents, you get your talent tree. Okay, if you click down here on talents, this is talents that your talent tree affords you. So if you want to use your Colossal March, if you've got that talent unlocked on your talent tree, it'll be here. So any talent that you unlock through your talent tree comes up here and you can choose to use it. And they're all timed. Then you have your guard talents, and these correlate with guards being of a certain level. And then you can use these guard talents. They're pretty good. Some of these guard talents are good. I think this one might be from Blackbeard. That I get this one. Oh, look, it shows you right here on the top. You see how the little circle next to each talent on the top, there's a small little circle, and it shows that I get the first talent from Blackbeard. The next talent, I'm getting that from Jacques. I've got Laura Jones is this green talent here. She's responsible for that. You can see her picture. So you can actually see the guard in a little circle at the corner, shows you which guard it would be that you would need to have, and all of that to do that. And if I went to unlock, you can see here these guard talents on each guard are down here. Okay, that's getting into a whole new can of worms. And now that I did that resource collect, that means if I just click 1 silver, it collects all my ready silver in one click, rather than me having to click every single building. So that's what that resources on selection was in the menu. So anyway, these are the basics of the inside of your castle. And as I said, I'm going to put out a video with each individual building and a lot more in-depth stuff. I just wanted you to see this. All your events are going to be up here, like ongoing things. We have our Road to Victory, Deep Sea Mystery. All these things are listed. You can also hit this little arrow at the end to collapse them down. And it'll show that there's 6 that you're not seeing. And you can bring it back out to see those 6 that you're not seeing and collapse it back in. So if that's in your way. Also another cool general feature is when you're outside, if you want to get rid of all these buttons along the side, let me move this over so it's not on top of a bunch of stuff. Okay, you see down here next to my coordinates, I have my spyglass, which of course you can click that to search coordinates. But I also have these 4 arrows. If I click those 4, it drops all those buttons back and out of my way, so I have more screen room to see. And then if I want all those back, I click that and it brings my chat and everything. Your chat feature, you can scroll this way to get to like kingdom chat. And it can go back and forth. So I've got alliance, I've got private over here, I've got chat rooms I'm in, and then the kingdom chat. But if I want to change it from kingdom to alliance without moving my screen, I just have to swipe on the chat back and forth. And if I swipe back and forth on this bottom chat, it changes me between kingdom, alliance, that sort of thing. Your little cursor, this guy right here, he will bring you back to your state. So if you scroll way out, you can be wherever, and then you click back on this thing that's showing how many kilometers away, and it takes you right back to your castle, so you can jump back for quick reference. We're going to do a whole thing on the map, but when you click map, it brings up this one. You can see your kingdom, like you see where your little hive is, and you can go like check out the center or whatever. And we'll go through a whole thing where I go through all these buttons that are on the map that go back to more of what the map is. And again, click this cursor, it takes me right back. So I think I've kind of covered the basics of just the overview of your castle. You also have these buttons over here on the left bottom. That's just a quick click to your daily quest, a quick click to start your estate affairs. Bookmarks, you can quick click that because you can bookmark anyone. If I wanted to bookmark my neighbor here, I could bookmark them, and I'd of course put them under friend. And now when I click bookmarks, I can just go to them. So I could be way anywhere and click my bookmarks here and go to friends. That's all. But if I go to friends, I see that, and I can just hit go to, and it takes me right to where he is. If he moves, it'll just take me to this empty spot right here, and I'll have to change that out. So, and then you got your general search where you can search for threats, red guard camps, or resources. Your strategies takes you to your strategy center where you could load gunpowder, or use a strategy if you're R4 and above, usually. Great Hall, that's talking about the throne. If there's a message about peace treaties or anything, it'll usually be here where the king or queen of your kingdom will post information, typically rules that they'll enforce by any force necessary, along with the other bigs of the kingdom if you defy those rules. If you are in a kingdom, it's new, I suggest that you get a top 10 treaty in place, or a top 20, where the top 10 or top 20 alliances and power are left alone to grow. That also encourages membership to those alliances, consolidates all the active players in the kingdom, and helps the people who are really in those alliances grow, and other people strive to grow to become a member of those alliances. You can do that by clicking your picture up here, and you can look at your leaderboard. And that's a quick way to know what are your top 10 alliances in the kingdom. Right now we just have the top 10. So as you can see, you can tell real quick by their tag if they're in a top 10 alliance or not. So if you want to do that top 10 rule, that's the way you track it, is by alliance power over here on your leaderboards. Alright, well with that, I'm going to wrap up this video. It's gone kind of long. But if you do have any questions, you can put them in the comments, and I'll be rapidly trying to put up videos for all the rest of this. So thank you very much, and talk again.